Hello, San Francisco. Thank you so much for joining us here. My name is Blake Buettner. I'm the managing editor of Worn and Wound. I'm thrilled to be joined on stage by my good friend, CEO of the Americas of Oris, VJ Geronimo. Welcome.
Thanks, Blake. Thanks for having me. Great to be back here at Wind Up again. First time for me, actually, in San Francisco. I wasn't here last year, and it's just a beautiful venue, great attendance, and a lot of good watch enthusiasm going on.
Some incredible stuff out here, incredible watches. You know one thing I'm seeing a lot of out here? Like Kermit shirts. This guy might have Kermit shoes on. She's got Kermit socks on.
All right.
This guy's got a Kermit shirt on. It's everywhere.
That's what we like to see.
Okay, well, we're going to lead into this. We're going to start out with something, with a video here that might set some context to what we're going to talk a little bit about here. It's not easy being green. This is about Kermit the Frog, and a watch that you guys have developed together. So any moment now, we will see this go up on the screen. Here we go, maybe. Okay.
I gotta make time for me. Take a moment of my day for a cup of tea. I gotta make time for me. Find your me time. I gotta make time for me. Whoa, that's good.
Excellent. All right, so this introduced us to the concept here, taking time for me. But before we get into that, the watch. This is a new watch. This is a ProPilot X with a very green dial. You can see it sporting on your wrist right here. What makes this watch different from other ProPilot X watches?
Well, first of all, it's the color. Obviously, this Kermit green color. But on the date disc, on the first of every month, Kermit appears. So we call it Kermit Day. So there's a nice little picture of Kermit there just to remind everyone about Kermit Day. And it's some time to take time for yourself, some me time, as we're calling it, as you see. So that's kind of what it's all about. And it's really fun, and it's not too in your face, but it's there, and it shows kind of the whole concept.
Yeah, I love the concept of this watch. Obviously, it's not taking itself too seriously. Nobody needs these watches anymore. We've got phones that tell pretty accurate time here and there. How did the idea of this watch start?
Well, the whole thing with Kermit and the Muppets in general was, just exactly you said. When we think about what we do and we think about just what's even here, right? Mechanical watches are nothing anybody really needs, right? Let's face it, everybody's here because they want to be here, not because they have to be here or it's something we need or live or die by. Some people might differ with that statement here, but watches are not something that we need. So we wanted to do something that we see our view in the world as kind of making people happy, making people smile with our product, the emotion behind it. So the Muppets do exactly that same thing. The Muppets basically are designed to entertain people, to make people laugh, to make people dance, sing, what have you. So we saw a philosophical synergy between us and the Muppets, and that's kind of why we came it. And then Kermit is the leader of the Muppets, probably the most famous Muppet, so that was where we started with it.
Love it. Philosophical synergies. I love that you put it that way. And Kermit, of course, the me time, the first of every month, as you mentioned. Do you think people will just have their date set on the first of the month throughout the week?
I think so. I was showing my watch earlier upstairs, and people are like, "Where's the Kermit?" I'm like, it actually has the right date on it, but the other ones there are there. So I think, I think you want to show it. Like, people want to see it, so it's.
Was this watch always going to be a ProPilot X? Was there any other consideration to putting it in any of the other collections?
There was consideration to it. I mean, obviously, diving pieces are something we're very much known for. Aquis is very much a basic collection of ours. But we wanted to do something that was also a little bit unique and show off the ProPilot X collection, which was new the prior year. So we decided to put it into the PPX, and I think it's been a great success, and people have really enjoyed seeing it. And it really makes the whole case and the titanium pop a little bit.
What's the reception been like to this watch? Do people get it? Do people take their own meaning from it?
Yeah, I think the reception has been, and what's really nice to see is, like, if you watch people's faces and you look at the reaction that people have, around it, everybody always smiles. And really that's the point. And I think it's like so many people are excited to see it. So many people know about it, which is great. So thank you all for that beautiful attention to the product. But it's been a great reaction.
No, it came out lovely, and of course the ProPilot X. It's a couple years old now.
Last year at Geneva we launched it.
Last year, that's right. Okay, which has been a very popular watch for you guys. Of course, the rest of the watch still stays the same. It's titanium, 39 millimeters, quite thin.
It's quite thin. It's really light. It also has our Caliber 400 movement in it, so 5-day power reserve, 10-year warranty, 10-year service interval, highly anti-magnetic. So all those qualities are in it there.
Is this a limited edition watch?
It is not. It's a limited production, so we're making a certain quantity of them and kind of continuing, but they're not limited by number.
So you've opened this partnership with Disney, with the Muppets. Give me some insight story. Like, who first suggested this? And you're like, are you crazy? How did this come along? And are you surprised that it came all the way through here?
Yeah. To be honest, it was not something that came from us in the U.S. So it was something that came from Switzerland. And I think when we think about Oris, we're always very try to stay very close to the brand and keep the brand and the integrity of the brand as much as we can. And so when first kind of saw it, there was some back and forth with it. But I think once you understand what it's about and once you understand why it's being done, then it certainly is something there. So we all really kind of embraced it, and I think you see it now, the reaction to it. It's been great. So.
What can we expect to see? Like, how is this relationship? How do you hope it evolves, and how else can this idea manifest?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Muppet characters, right? There's been plenty of suggestions by people. I'm sure if we ask the audience, I'm sure there's a lot of suggestions that people might have, but I think it'll naturally evolve itself. If it heads in that direction, it'll naturally evolve itself. Obviously, dealing with a Disney partnership, so it's a little bit new to us and a little bit. It's a large corporation to deal with, so there's some things involved.
All right. Well, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see how this evolves. There's certainly some other characters I have in mind that I would love to see on those two fellas that review the movies up from the balcony. I'd like to see those two make an appearance somewhere. All right, so how does Oris, of course, has a lot of other initiatives centered around sustainability. How does this watch kind of fit in with your overall kind of vision of that? And is this something that would how does it live alongside those other initiatives?
Sure. I mean, I think the Kermit is about really taking the time, really kind of just taking time for yourself. It's really just understanding that we're not taking things too seriously. And I think that's really the main message behind it. Kermit's slogan is, "It's not easy being green." And honestly, from a sustainability perspective, it fits into kind of what we do, but it wasn't the main intention of the green sustainability side. Yes, Kermit very much cares about the environment. He does a lot of things in that sense. He's like a living being. When you get to meet him, got to meet Kermit, which was really neat. But, everybody's childhood, so it came about that way.
All right, you got to meet Kermit the Frog.
Yes.
Tell me about this. How did this happen?
So Kermit, we filmed some video with Kermit. So I don't know if obviously you guys have seen this commercial, but we did a video with Rolf Studer, who's our global CEO, and you may have seen that video at Watches and Wonders. So we had a day in New York, and we got to film with him. And yeah, it's he's a puppet, and as soon as he comes above the table, he just comes to life, and everybody, the reaction of people, if he was here and everybody saw it, I think the room would just go silent, and everybody would be like, "Wow, that's Kermit the Frog."
So you say, so it's not an awkward, I can see you right there, but it's you really buy into it, and there's a whole character there that's living and breathing that you feel like you can engage with.
And they really make sure that the integrity of Kermit stays the integrity of Kermit. They don't want, people seeing behind, it is what it is. He's the frog, and once he comes above the table, he's Kermit the Frog. So
what's it been like to work with one of the most recognizable brands on the planet?
It's been good. It's been challenging at times, but, because there's so many ideas that we, as with anything and anybody working with a brand, you want to do what's best for your own brand or keep the integrity of your brand. So, Disney's Disney and Kermit's Kermit, and there's a lot that goes into keeping that brand, and we have ideas and we want to do things, but there's guardrails around branding and things like that. So it's been.
All right, what's the craziest idea that you pitched to them that they were like, this is not going to fly?
Well,
if you can indulge.
I mean, just some easy things, like we wanted to put Kermit on ESPN. So we wanted to have him be like a SportsCenter host with one of the hosts, and it was like a process went through, and then it was like, no, we can't do that. So it was like something, things like that. But
okay, but no watches where the whole dial was his face or doing something crazy like that.
No. And I think, with the dial stuff, and even with us as Oris, like our design language is such that it would never have been like, we're not one to plaster the face of Kermit like just flat on the dial. It's really subtle. And that's with anything we do, whether that's Kermit, whether that's Roberto Clemente, whether that's any of this other stuff, we've always made subtle hints to design and design language. So, but that's how it would be.
Did you, is Kermit a Yankees fan?
I think so.
So, okay. All right.
I think so.
Maybe we'll see him at Yankee Stadium.
Maybe one day, yeah.
Out there.
They happened to be in spring training when he was up in New York, so they weren't in town. So that might have been another thing you could have seen.
Where can people go to see some of these videos that you've created?
So they're out on YouTube, on the Oris YouTube channel. You could see that. He also did one with GQ called 10 Essential Things, if you've ever seen that. So there's a video with Kermit there, talking about me time in the end as well. So.
Okay. I love this. Okay, so me time, and is this a theme that I think is relevant to a lot of the other watches that you guys have and build? There's a deep element of your personality in them, of Oris's personality that's coming through here. So I think a lot of them have kind of a joyous element to them. Or something a little extra, a little special there. There's another watch that you guys came out with this year that I wanted to just kind of briefly ask you about, the altimeter, the ProPilot altimeter, and the case construction here, which I really love. I got a chance to see this watch. I was really amazed by it, by how it's not a small watch, but it feels like nothing.
It is not a small watch, yeah. No, and I think kind of the ability to do things like that really comes from our independence as a brand. Like being a true independent brand, we can make something as simple as coming from a Kermit that's a bright green dial to a very technical piece, the altimeter, as you're speaking about, which is 3D printed carbon fiber case. It was made in conjunction with a company that's out of the Swiss version of MIT, is basically the best way to put it. And it's a case that's fully formed carbon fiber from 3D printing, so the integrity of the carbon is there. It's a fully functioning mechanical altimeter. So there's a lot of technology, so we can go from something very fun to something very technical, and that's the beauty, I think, of independence. But the altimeter is a really cool piece. It's super light. It's 47 millimeters. I know that scares a lot of people at 47 millimeters, but you have to try it on and really see it to understand it.
Such a cool watch. It's such a cool complication. I know you guys do some really cool complications as well. The depth rating watch is another one that comes to mind. Would love to see the 3D printed carbon fiber case on that guy, too. All right, so what can we look forward to seeing? Is there anything that you can tell us about that might be upcoming? Anything we should be keeping an eye out for with your collaborations with Disney or anything otherwise?
Yeah, I think in the coming year, I think you'll see some stuff from us keeping to our sustainability messaging. So I think you'll see a lot of that, which is something very much the next iteration of things. Some basic product that's just strong colorways of different product that we have. Excited for another collaboration watch this summer, which will be really cool. Something very fitting to us that we've done. That'll be the next generation of what we've done. So can't really say too much about it, but it'll be there.
All right. Well, we're excited to see that, and I love that you guys don't shy away from color. You don't shy away from some of the messages that you guys find on brand. So really beautiful work and that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you again for being here.
It's great to be here.
The Kermit ProPilot X. You have a few of these, I imagine, up at your booth upstairs.
There are a few. We made a few available for the show, so they're up there. So if anybody would like to purchase one, they're there. There's also some new things. The other things we've done, the altimeter's there. The Cherry Diamond Aquas was another piece that we had done, sustainability with the sustainable diamonds. So they're there as well. So.
Both watches that I think impress in in person, really more than you might expect after seeing some pictures. If you haven't seen this altimeter, definitely go check it out. It's a really cool watch, along with all the other watches that you have there. VJ, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Is there any other questions that you guys have about Kermit, about Oris, for VJ?
Perhaps.
I'm sorry, hi. You mentioned Kermit being green, obviously, and Oris being green. What can you tell us more about Oris and sustainability?
That's a great question. We as a company, we've always done stuff around sustainability and always done things around ocean conservation and time. So it's not something that we've just kind of taken on in the past few years because it's become a marketing thing or it's cool to do something sustainable. I mean, I think now in our industry, everybody's, saving a turtle or doing something like that. I think we've always had this history of doing this because it made sense for us as a company, not because of that. But we went a step further, so we were the first watch brand to become carbon neutral, so fully sustainable. We published a sustainability report. Our next sustainability report will be coming out very shortly, so we pledged to do that. And we pledged to reduce our carbon emissions by 10% a year for the next 3 years. Like that's been our pledge. So, and that's really our way of saying we're not just talking about something, we're putting our money where our mouth is, doing things that make sense. Are we perfect? We're not, certainly not, but we're trying to just make a difference and really come at it from a place of substance, not just a place of talk.
Yeah, no, your heart's in the right place, and you guys are doing some incredible things. I think I was in St. Louis with you last summer, visiting Wings of Hope, which is another incredible organization that you guys are involved in. I've never ceased to be surprised by the things that you guys are willing to jump in and shine a light on and help out.
Thank you.
So thank you for doing that, and thank you for being a part of Wind Up Watch Fair.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here, and always a pleasure.
All right. Don't forget to go check out the Oris booth upstairs, and thank you all for being here. Thanks, Oris.
Thank you. All right.